Nice, man. Well, I'm excited to talk to you about your new amazing album you just released and your amazing music career. We're going to get into all that in a little bit. But first, here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passions. I want to know where your passion for music came from and led you on this amazing journey. Was a certain album, a certain soundtrack inspired?
Yeah, I mean, I think as a kid, I grew up during like the explosion of all that like classic rock in the early '70s. So that really got me. I mean, my dad's from England. He played a lot of Beatles and Stones records, and then I as a kid I was into all kinds of stuff. Everything from like Elton John to Kiss to uh, um, everything that was coming out. I mean, it got broader as I got older, but I just remember like that was when I was really young. What really got me going was I played piano. I started playing piano when I was 6, and then it was Elton John got me going, and then also I loved some of the rock stuff like Bachman Turner Overdrive and Kiss and all those kind of all those bands as well.
I guess my dog wants to be on Zoom. She's been wanting to get up here. Well, cool. How'd you get into like the whole film TV world, as a composer?
Yeah, so that was I at some point I was always into synthesizers, and I had a band, and all through different bands through high school. I was kind of like more into like punk music when I was in junior high, and then I kind of got more into like the Grateful Dead in high school. But I just started messing around, with my keyboards. I remember I had a Korg keyboard that I started just writing little film score type of stuff, just sort of ambient stuff on that. And then when I came to LA, because I had a hard time finding musicians that liked the same kind of music that I, in Connecticut, when I was in college, everyone was kind of into metal. And I wasn't really looking to go that. I was more like into U2 or whatever, and couldn't find the musicians in Connecticut. So I came to California, and I got a job at West LA Music, which is like the biggest music store at the time in LA, selling gear. Kind of scammed my way in there, and and then eventually they had all these contests. You sold a lot of certain gear, you'd win stuff. So I started selling lots of Roland samplers. So I ended up with this really cool little studio where I could make, pretty advanced stuff. And then one of my customers wanted to borrow my gear because he didn't have that much stuff. Oh, can I borrow you? I have this job. So I said that, why don't we do it together?
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. That was a TV commercial for Karina, which is a Whoopi Goldberg movie way back in the 90s. And
nice.
We pulled that off somehow. Neither of us really knew what we were doing. And then, that was that. We got going from there. And then we got this UFO somehow. I don't even know how. We knew this guy. He had this big UFO show. It was actually prime time on NBC. It was like a 2-hour UFO alien autopsy special.
Oh, I think I remember that. Yeah.
And so we did that, and it played prime time. I had no idea. One day I came home from work and I had a check in the mail for $50,000 for royalties from that, and that was it. That was literally like my moment. Like, okay, that's now I can do this full time. I can quit my job. And so yeah, I was around right at the beginning of that whole trailer thing where they used to just use music from movies, but then they realized that if they had composers, they could make even more intense, quicker, more condensed, more over the top, trailer music in the 90s. That's I was sort of just happened to be in the right place, the right time when that had started. So I was one of the first people doing that, where we would just make these hopped up, quick little giant choir, big drum kind of trailer music stuff.
That's cool. As a gamer, I love the Call of Duty franchises. I saw on your IMDb page that you worked on, like, I think it was a Modern Warfare, like some of those games. Yeah. How was that, man? That's a pretty big deal, at least in my world.
Yeah, no, well, that was interesting because I was with Hans Zimmer. I basically I met him because I also used to produce a lot. I still do some, but I produced a lot of these virtual instruments, sounds for other composers. So I sample orchestras and other stuff. And I'd met Hans, and then he brought me into his studio for a while to work on some films. And the first thing that happened was that that was the first time they'd hired like a big name composer, I guess. It was Modern Warfare 2. So, but the way that he works is, especially jobs like that, which aren't his primary thing, he kind of has people that, help him. So he's like, okay, here, Nick, you do these 3 levels, and
that's awesome.
So it's fun. It wasn't like high pressure, really. They're pretty cool about, I guess, because Hans was involved, so they didn't want to give him a hard time. So there was like, unlike movies, which are brutal, they just kind of like accepted whatever we gave them, pretty much. It wasn't bad.
I love it. So you just released, you kind of returned to your rock roots of your new album, which is amazing, called Why World, which is out now. Let's talk about the title track, which you also did a music video for. Let's talk about the writing process of that first,
Yeah. I basically, the way I write is I just mostly for the rock stuff is, the funny thing is that, I tried doing this when I was younger. This is what I wanted to do. And I couldn't really write good songs. I mean, I don't know. They were just, there's nothing ever really great came out of me. But now, after working so hard on the other field for all these years, the rock stuff just comes really easily to me now. So I'll sit down the piano, and I can write songs all day. I mean, maybe they're bad, but they just come out of me. And then I basically hum melodies, and then eventually some kind of little lyrical idea comes to me, like a little catchy phrase or something that kind of fits the music, and then I'll write the lyric. I write it all like without really any real lyrics at the time.
Oh, okay.
It's sort of I just sort of sing nonsensical stuff mostly and then the lyrics eventually start to pop out.
Well, let's get into the music video for it. It's really beautifully shot. I mean, where was it? The mountain range you're at?
That's Jackson Hole. So I have a house up there.
Oh, I was gonna say. I thought I was like, maybe that's the Grand Tetons. I mean, I haven't been to Jackson Hole like since the 90s.
Yeah. That's it's all Jackson Hole. It's pretty easy to find good locations up there.
Yeah, very cool. Well, what time did you shoot? Because they had that beautiful, I guess it was sunset or sunrise. I don't know if it's like during the magic hour or not.
Yeah, we were there for 3 days, and then that first day we weren't even planning on shooting anything with me. We went to this location where we're shooting with the 2 girls, and all of a sudden we had the magic sun. And that doesn't happen that often, where it looks like that. That's pretty unusual that it looks that good. So we got really lucky there. So we did a quick shoot with me there that day, and then it was 3 days, the whole thing. So I just brought the little crew up to my house up there, and we just it was cool.
I would say my favorite track from the album is and talk about lyrics in this. I mean, amazing deep lyrics. Was He Knows Enough. Oh my goodness. I mean, what emotional, great song. I kind of feel bad for the rest of the track because I came obsessed with that track. Why I just kept listening to it over and over and over again.
Oh, that's cool. That was funny. I almost didn't put it on the album just because it is a little bit different. It has a little bit more edge, and it's like, I'd wish I had, maybe another track a little bit more in that, but that's just the only one that came out that, I mean, to me, it was like, when I was writing it, it kind of felt a little bit like Janie's Got a Gun, that kind of vibe, same kind of topic, abuse, or like Michael Jackson, like, was it Dirty Diana or something? I don't know, just, I mean, they're different songs, but, just has a little bit of that, that vibe
to it. Very cool. Well, that's why I like while musicians still release albums. I know it's a big thing, just release singles and EPs here and there, but stuff like that. I mean, that song almost didn't make the album, and like I wouldn't be obsessed with it because I want to know about it. So,
Yeah, no, I noticed you're not the only one. Like I'm getting, there's been like 11 reviews of the album now. They're all mostly smaller publications, but I'm kind of shocked. I was expecting some bad. I mean, I'm sure they're coming, but I was expecting some bad reviews. I haven't gotten any yet, and a lot of people have mentioned that song. like my wife doesn't like that song. It's the only song she doesn't really. It's like her least favorite song on the whole album. You know.
Well, that's the beauty of music. It's an art form, you know. So
yeah.
Well, cool, man. Well, I mean, what's your future plans? Any new singles, music videos? Yeah, I think you mentioned you're doing something in Jackson Hole, or maybe it was something in the past.
No, it's going to be the rest of them are really different. So the song Andromeda, which is like this space fantasy love story kind of thing, that's a big production. We're just finishing the editing, but it's kind of a big deal because of all the color. It's kind of it's a big production. That one's maybe going to release next Friday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And then we're shooting the week after that, we're shooting Rise Up, which is the second song.
Yeah, that's a good one.
In LA.
Nice. Are you gonna do anything live or perform or these?
Yeah,
or?
So I'm basically, because my band is like kind of mostly like famous musicians, like there's Death Cab and John Mayer.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, half his band and half Death Cab. So it's kind of like I have to have some success, or they're not gonna. I mean, I don't think they're gonna want to. They said they would do it. They want to do it, but there's no way. I can't drag them around to like little dive.
Yeah. Well, maybe at least do one show in LA. I mean, I used to live there, maybe at the Roxy or something. I don't know what venues are still around. You know, I know a lot of them.
Yeah. No, they're still. They most of them survived, and they're all coming back. Awesome. I think it'll happen. I mean, I know like Wide World is actually charting pretty well nice. Right now. So like on the AAA Billboard, it's like number 50 this week. So
wow, congratulations, man. No wonder you're in Hawaii.
So I mean, I'm hoping if I can get some kind of traction. You know, it's always like I just never know, because everyone's.
Well, Nick, thank you for joining us. Everyone, check out your website, nickphoenix.com. Get all information about your music and where people can stream it. Thank you so much for taking your time and talking to me. We'll talk down the road for future projects.